Hello, I'm Matt and welcome to Badger Workshop. I've got a bit of a collection of old hand saws. Some are on this shelf, some are in a box, and they all need sorting out. So I've decided to make a saw till to store them. I'm going to take this shelf down, which is a scaffold board, and use that to make it. All these saws need a bit of restoration, so maybe if I've got them in one place, I'll actually sort them out. This scaffold board's a bit rough and ready, which I didn't mind for just a shelf, but it's got a cup in it, so first I'm going to break it down into a more manageable size and then I can get it planed and thicknessed. With three sides sorted out on the plane thicknesser, I can then set up the table saw and rip off the fourth edge, cleaning it up. With the boards trimmed down, they're the perfect size at the base, but I want them to taper up, so I mark out around a saw where I want the taper to go. I can then get this cut out on the bandsaw. So these three bits need joining together, and I'm going to use my dowel joiner, so I mark out where they need to go and I get some holes drilled. I'm using this because I have one, but a dowel jig would work, or even just some screws through the bottom would be great. Before I can actually get it glued together with the dowels, I get it clamped up so I can take the measurement between the two sides. I want to fit two supports on the back for the two different sizes of saw to rest on. They will also give me a way of attaching it to the wall, so I get some material cut and ripped down for this. So I should have put my zero insert plate in before doing this, as this is exactly why I have one. I want to cut slots in the side to accept these bits of wood, so I swap out my flat tooth blade. I can then raise it up to the thickness of the wood that I just cut. I mark out on the sides where I want these two supports to go. Then I can take them to the table saw and use the mitre sled to nibble away at the waste. The saw handles need something to rest on, so I position them on the sides, and then I can mark out where the handle needs to rest. I'm going to use a dowel for them to sit on, so I drill down just about the depth of the Forstner bit. I can now work out how long the dowel needs to be to fit into those two holes I've drilled, and I can get it cut down with a Japanese saw. Before I can start assembling this, I give all the parts a sand down. I can now start getting it put together, so I start with the three pieces of scaffold board. I get some glue applied, get the dowels in and get it put together, remembering to put that long dowel in place. I only hammer the dowels in so far, and then I like to get some clamps on, and they really help to pull the joint nice and tight. Now I can get the two back pieces installed, so I get some glue on, get them put in place, and then I get some screws in to secure them. I can now have a test fit of the saws, but they need a way of keeping them supported and in place. I'll measure how long the supports are going to need to be for each series of saws, and then I can get some bits cut down on the miter saw. I worked out what spacing I wanted between the saws, and I'm going for about 2 centimeters, so I mark that out and draw a line. I can now take it to the bandsaw and use the miter gauge to pass it through, cutting along this line about 3/4 of the way through the material. I get 2 bits like this done, and now they need to be mounted on the back supports on opposite ends to each other. I just get them glued in place and clamped up. To be able to attach this to the wall, I'm going to use some of these brass screw inserts, so I get a couple of holes drilled for them, but I'm not going to install them yet. I'm going to wait until I've applied the finish. I'm going to use some of this dark oak finish that I want to try and use up, and I've got lots more to use, and this is what I did the bin with a few months back. When the finish was dry, I could then get those brass inserts in place, and they just get tapped down. So that's it all done. Now I can get it fixed to the wall. So hopefully now this will motivate me to actually get these saws restored and I can start using them. They slot in place nicely and they do look nice actually on display. And they will look even better with the rust cleaned off them. So while I was here doing the back wall, I did some other bits. I got my hammer rack back up, and I moved my hand planes over as well, and my Jimmy DeResta make a central poster. And I think that back wall is starting to look quite nice. Thanks for watching, thanks to my Patreons, and please subscribe for more videos.